already playing in the without knowing, and what key role you can play in future. Now, having to say few things about Professor Joshi, he was one of those who was a 24-hour man in the system. Even though he was a PhD guy, he would allow full freedom. I could define my work, I could define whatever I want to do. And he was in fact dissuading me from doing PhD in the beginning. Somehow after my MSc, I got an offer from Institute of Science Bangalore in almost 23 of the 25 departments. So he almost took 1 week to say, no, don't join me, join there. That is far better than, I said, no, I want to join here, I did my MSc here. He said, sentiments apart, Institute of Science is very good. And in physics department at the time, there were only 2 students. And one was the son of some consulate. So he said, I do not know how many days if his father get transferred, whether he will be there or not. Another was a casual housewife. She was doing only because in the free time she would just come, go. He said, with that type of a background, how would you do serious physics? I said, that's what I want to do. And I said, my philosophy is, you go to a place which is famous, or make a place which, may go to a place and make it famous. I said, I would like to take it as a challenge. He said, fine, full cooperation I will give. But he said, 1 week you decide. I still feel what you are doing is not good for you. Going to Institute of Science is better than Physics department. And I didn't depend. And I am not depending you now. Then once I started doing a PhD, he told me why here infrastructure is very low. Here for something you have to do in TFR, something you have to do in BRC, something in IIT. I said, give me all the people. I will go visit and come. And I went to study. And also I found that they were all looking at physics department as something. Oh, he's from physics department. I said, wow, that makes life even more challenging and interesting. So then what I did, for 3 months I said, I will do something in the university. We have something called an implanter at the bottom. I said, I will do something so unique that, and he would give full support. We had such a good relation. I was also a lecturer. When it came to the question of we are all middle class people, we have to, right from the time even when we do MSc, we want to learn. So even when it came to scholarships and all, I said, I will be a full-time lecturer. He said, you are going to be here, you are going to be full-time lecturer, what will you do? I said, you leave it to me, I will do. So because of that, he is so good to me that if I tell some of the examples, you would see whether such a man, whether they can do. Suppose I am taking a reading of the implanter. Implanter will be on for 48 hours, once you put. At 12 o'clock at night while going, I will say next reading to be taken at night 1:30. Next day I will be a lecturer. I have to go for a lecture at maybe 7:38. Come back by 2 o'clock, a reading will be there. Reading taken at 1:30. So 1:30, imagine the head of department would have taken the reading at 1:30 and it will be there. I have kept some of those papers that may be available in the department. So we used to have such a, and when you talk to him about any problem, he will not come out of the room without a solution, however impossible it is. So he would ensure that you go to the bottom. He will never laugh at you when that's a problem, and he will never shy away from the problem. At the same time, when you do good work, even many of the people who may say that PR, public relation work which he used to do was wonderful. So what happened in the physics department? You know, what I did, since people are calling the implanter in university as junk and bad and so on and so forth, I extracted right from hydrogen to uranium. So why did I do it? That also will come in a few minutes time. Suddenly one day I was coming from outside, they said somebody very important is sitting in your room. I said, who is it? We don't know, but there is somebody, VIP is there. So went and found that Dr. Rajaramana himself was sitting in my room. Then Dr. Joshi was sitting opposite. He said, this is the boy who has done it. He has come. So I entered and I said, what did I do such? The Ramana has to come. And Ramana said, you are the guy who was, done something in uranium. Uranium is a statutory item. So Joshi told me, so I come to see what is it that you have done and why did you do it. Since I don't think uranium is part of your... I am trying to convey two meanings. One is when you do good, he just goes and blasts to the AFRs and PRCs and all at the highest level. So now he gets into the vibe. Then I explained to Dr. Ramana that at the time he was in his peak, at the time the nuclear explosion all had taken place. So I said, see, people are calling this as a junk implanter. If I do my research work on equipment which is not considered by scientific community as good, then I am wasting my time. First I want to prove that the equipment is good. He said, no, I have verified this is good, I will give it in writing. Not only that, this equipment itself I am gifting to university because of what work you have done, otherwise you have to charge university. Then what happened? Within next 2 weeks, the same DRC and TFR people who used to call it as that university people, they all came running here for collaboration. After that, within 1 year, the waiting period for PhD in university became 2 years time. If any student coming, they have to wait for 2 years to do, 2 years to get himself admitted. We are already 25 people had come and joined. And since I casually became a lecturer, many of the lecturers became the first set of PhD students. So there was a good relation between Bombay University and the thing. And Dr. Joshi played the keyest role in ensuring that people are welcome, people are treated well, people are supported well, and anything which is that, he will be there to stand by. So that's the type of person who has started this university, and I am sure the legacy continues. Otherwise, there will not be so many students around. And I will, maybe with a little brief, I hope, otherwise the whole lecture will be on him. It should not happen that I am glorifying my own guide. After all, he was my guide and we have a very good equation. So I come to this topic which will be a lot more interesting to you. It is only to see that you are on a safe bed in the chair in which you are sitting. Now the topic I have taken is physics as a channel of growth for nation to be a superpower. A very complicated wording, I know, but it had to convey a lot of meaning. And if you had seen that video, a lot of things would have been done in the video which I am sure most of you will say it was confusing. Because we are talking of transportation, we are talking of tourism, we are talking of agriculture, we are talking of environment, everything. So as a physics student, you will say where is the atoms, where is the nuclear, where is the molecules, where is solid state electronics, and where is space. These are nothing to do with us. Let me go to the next slide to sort of tell you further. Of course, you all should be very happy to know that these first and third gentlemen's nephew sitting here, Dr. Rajaram, Dr. C.V. Raman and Chandra Sekhar, and you work very happily together for, I am sure, I think you should get up and one of the corporates. He is a scientist of highest reputation. And these two uncles are. But as Indian scientists, there are many. That's why I put many more. Okay. Of course, we have added Abdul Kalam. He is actually a technologist. He may not be really rated as a physicist. But let as physics come in picture, I will. This is a slide all of you should keep it in the first page of all your books. Because physics encompasses everything in life. When I did physics, I said, what others are doing? They are wasting their time. Because physics is everything. You would find, you name, if a nation progress, means if Modi wants to go somewhere, he wants to sign a space agreement, he wants to sign a nuclear agreement, he wants to sign a nano agreement, they are on physics. Okay. And there are so many hidden subjects which are around that you really do not know what others are doing other than physics. So I have said, where does physics come in picture is something I should compress into a single slide, which I hope all of you will keep it and see further linkages as we go down. And where does national growth come in picture by? Now let me go to education. Because after all, physics itself is part of our education stream. Of course, inside physics, almost the whole world seems to exist. By that, let us not decry other subjects. Every subject has its own importance. Like I always say, my mother could be important to me, but his mother is important to him. They may buy this, let us all not suddenly feel that chemistry is not required or biology is not required. But physics is a grade above most of the subjects. Especially in the room of physics, I can always proudly say. If it is some other room, somebody may throw it, egg on me. But nobody can decry the fact that physics is a very important subject. Now, as education, we should know the plus point of India's positioning and the not so plus point which I consider as a channel of growth. If I already grown, then what is there to look down? If I am growing, I can look up and keep growing. So, as an education system, if you see the number of students, the number of universities, anyway they are all very, very high. But from what we require, India as a country, I will come in a future slide, has got more than these are some numbers which I will give it to you all for this. Even for physics, if you see the number of postgraduates and all are something which I am purposely putting, and also the number of scientists in R&D institutions is around 2 lakhs of people. Out of it, 28,000 is from physics and other subjects or whatever is there. Like I told, the subjects in physics really encompasses various items. And we as Indians, as students and as part of education department, we have almost 450 million people in India, which is almost equal to 150 countries put together, which is what is the students, means people below the age of 23, 24. Okay. Whereas we have a capacity to teach only about 120 million people. So even though the number is high, the need of number is far, far higher. So need to have a very strategic way of growth is very important for all of us. So in some way, as head of department, you will be seeing that there is so many students to be taught. But if you see in the numbers, there should be 10 times this number, even for one institution. Then only we will be able to do justice to the needs of the society. Because as you can see the second slide which I put, with so much subjects in physics has to be taught, then we have to do justice by what we are doing and what we can do and how we can do. Doesn't mean that immediately we should work for 24 hours a day. Within the limits of what we are working, by planning it, which also I will come in few slides more. First is I am driving the need, then giving what could be the possible strategies. Okay. As you see, map whatever we saw in physics into various sectors, you will find whatever was the video which was presented coming into action. Where does physics come in transport? Where does physics come in power sector? Because as physics people, we have forgotten that we contribute almost every field. So every sector in the economy, even though this is very broad testing, has got a huge view in physics inside. This is what, of course, management should do. That means all the physics-based development should maximize its output from the nation building point of view. Because what are we doing all this thing for? Are we doing, many times if you ask what I am doing studies for, why I want to do my MSc. Why do MSc? Because I should get a 5-figure salary. The 5-figure salary is for what? That the fellow who is paying me most. It's not what it should be. Because I want to do this, I am an expert in this, I will contribute, make that fellow earn 10 figures, 6 figures, and out of it 5 figures will come to me or 4 figures will come to me, depending on whether we count only the zeros or whether we count the fact on the right side. Then since zero is, we only invented zero, so you put more zeros on the right side without knowing its significance because it is in a valueless. But when I put zero on the right side, it has got a huge value in terms of our position. So how the physics-based system can deliver maximum possible results? I could say software program. When we were students, we used to feel that from physics, electronics was a small subsystem. In electronics, computer was a still smaller subsystem. Inside computer, there was an invisible sector called software. Today, the small software can rule the world. WhatsApp is $19 billion, which is equal to almost 20 countries GDP put together. So, it is just a small software inside your field. So this is not something as a feeling of ownership, at least all of you should be proud of it and see what are the ways you all can use each one for your own field respective growth. What does it say between people exchange program between university and industry? Even here, of course, this is part more of management, but at the same time, even students themselves can have their own relationship. I don't think there is any objection. Our philosophy is there should be an intense interaction between university and industry, because there is a complete digression. The moment somebody has studied, he feels that his own university is not good, whereas he himself was great. I don't know how, because many people I have seen even in board of studies meeting after programs of board of studies and all. I find it so ridiculous. A person coming and saying, "Oh, that's not good, that's not good." I said, "Why did you study?" "Oh, I studied here." "And if you studied here, then you are whatever you are because of this." No, you are not good. They are not good, then you are not good. So, same thing you all should not take behind. I believe whatever I am is because of my own roots in physics department and my own roots in whatever I have studied. Same thing to make it more practicable. Have an intense interaction with the industry. Then I believe, I have put it even in our own board meeting, that physics department research should get into a small MOU with as many industries as possible. That means you industry people can come and take my student right from day one. That does not mean that you all will be employed by them. Your free time will be available to them as mutually decided. So maybe in the first 6 months you may spend hardly 2 hours a week for whichever is industry concerned. But you get a feeling what the industry requires. Because not just those people I am sort of putting in a different way, I am really laughing at them. Because their needs are not met because of the digression. So once the collaboration is intense, then the student feels part of the industry. The industry also feels part of the student. Sitting in a chair, her main problem is where is money. If I have industry connections, money will come. Because how will the money come? Money will come by first collating what we have done, presenting to them what is it that I can offer, and then saying the future thing I will do based on what is required. After all, physics is not, except the pure theoretical physics should see whatever I am seeing in a different perspective. The pure theoretical physics need not have much to do with industry. Because there we are doing purely from intellectual point of view, and that should be given its due weightage. The practical portion of physics should have its own connectivity. So once we have done that, then what happens? The industry will come to your doorstep. Just like whatever we give the example of BRC, TFR. The moment they found something different is being done, same people who used to shy away came in droves to say that you give the student, I am ready to take. Same thing, you make 2 practical examples of something which industry required I have done. I have done the small circuitry. And like Professor Joshi, somebody has to go downtown. You cannot shy away, sit here and feel somebody will know I am doing something great. Okay, so how to propagate it? You should mass make that yes, me and my students have done this. Me and my students have done this. Giving due credit, so that nobody should feel that somebody's credit is being usurped by some other. The XYZ student. I know some few faces are there whom I have seen, they are quite enthusiastic, but later I found they have disappeared. Okay, so whereas there's no reason why they should disappear, because this is something you can do independent of your exam, independent of your studies, independent of your, because all in your free time. So the intense interaction with the industry is absolutely a must. That again means to close that particular topic, I have taken 2 more minutes on that, is because that is one of the crucial things for you all to grow personally and for the department to grow. If you grow, department grows. If you do not grow, department still will grow, but it will grow in its own slow pace. So today, it is almost touching at the edge, not even this much. But even if you cross a little more, Industry is industry, has to be separate, and academia is academia, that is separate. The separateness should never be integrated. Whereas once we have a intense interaction at this, that means it goes another is 30% more. That much should separate. Then what happens? The subjects which are industry oriented has to have highest level of industry connection, highest level of industry coordination, and highest level of people from industry coming and giving lectures, and even lecturers from here giving their own thought process to the industry. Because remember, by the academic knowledge which you have got, the industry does not have. Industry knows how to take X and duplicate it million times. But X itself, even if you say 0.05% and enhance it, you know that can give rise to huge difference in the again zeros, profit zeros, which they would anyway like to put. And once that is proven, count on it. That's what the department should do. Then you will have it proven now. And most of the topics are around the same topic. Industry, corporate research, then R&D labs, university. Now this is again another thing, to go in detail, this is we take quite much of time. Because I have to come to the core topic, which is one or two slides today. So I am only spending the first 8, 9 things on physics, its importance to industry, its importance to growth, its very, very high importance to each sector of economy, which is what I have probably tried to emphasize in the first two. Now comes this curious word called secured governance, physics education hub. This word secured governance I had coined as a concept around 2011. Before that, as some profile was read out, some part of the profile not really correct. But I had written a lot of books more to understand what is India. And I was told to write even about USA, UK, and to select 10 countries, even those countries I wrote. I found that in each country, and much more so in India, we got so much of internal resources, and that is not first being appreciated, that is not first being accounted for, that is not being taken as its strength. Okay, each and every sector. So first what I did, in my book on India, I said let us know what is India. I mean in each sector, what is it we have got? How many mobiles we got? How many colleges we got? To extreme. Mobile is a small item, college is a big item. 2, how many vehicles are there? How many roads are there? On the other extreme, how many agriculture fields are there? How many tomatoes we grow? It's important. And on still more extreme, how many tourist spots are there and how many tourists are coming? You know, India has got almost 3,700 tourist spots. The whole World Heritage Sites are 950. And this 3,700 tourist spot does not include almost 18 million religious places. Each one is a tourist spot. Your own grandmother may be going for praying, but for all others it's again a tourist spot where people go. Intention may be different. Grandmother may be going with the intention to pray, but you may be going with the intention to see the architecture. So, with that type of inputs available, see the roads. We got how much roads? 4.6 million kilometers of road. Second highest in the world. Even though size-wise we are almost 4th or so. So, the items are there, the entities are there. How it can be capitalized for a national growth is what we are trying to see. If you see even India as a country, is almost 206 countries put together is one country. Then we see the land. Anything which we say, people say, oh, the land nahi India. We are only using 0.4% of the land area. The rest 99.6% of the land area is free. Something can be done. Not that free does not mean. At least we are not living in that area. And water. Water, pure drinking water used for all our human purposes is almost 20 times or more than what we require. So for the next almost 100, 200 years, we got everything what we want. It is just a question of we planning to grow. We planning to use the resources to our growth, to a proper, what I generally keep using the word strategic way of growth. What word secured governance again? Word secured means what? We as human beings, when we got evolved from a primitive monkey to a little more intelligent human being, we started getting into small, maybe male-female relation, then maybe a family relation, maybe a group of family relation. Then we started covering our areas, saying that okay, we 10 families put together, we'll make this a village. Then 1,000 people put together, made this a town, and that way we go. That is secure word coming picture. The moment I put a small boundary around me, I feel secure. I feel okay. We are all together. We are all there. That is what governance comes in picture. Governance comes in picture because suddenly they started, appointing somebody as a group head, and that particular person or group of person are supposed to take care of the general governance of the such group of people. Then once we started growing, so many other things started happening. That's when technology, technical, everything started coming. Wheels came, welding came, explosives came, so many inventions came. Then we started having more structured approach. That's some are democracy, some are hypocrisy, some are dictatorship, some are communists, so many things. They were all part of the normal governance of the country. In this word secured governance, we are saying this secured governance for techno-economic national growth. Let that particular talk of management of a secured governance is one aspect. Fortunately, from here only, the present government keeps talking of governance. Because this was one of the documents which we created in 2011, saying that yes, India should have a different type of governance. India should have so many smart cities and so on and so forth. And where do they come in picture? I will come in picture. So, while doing that, what I said was for us to have secured governance, which again means that government, whichever is governing, should only take care of its coherence. Whereas for systems to grow inside, there should be a self-generating mechanism. Because government itself cannot do what it is trying to do. Today government does railways, government does this, government does roads, government does so many things, and you and I know what really happens. Again, coming to the bottom of the pit, where will the money come? Let us also understand, as Indians, where do we stand? India became independence in 1947 as a 350 million country. Today we are 1.3 billion people. We added more than 850 million. One of the most efficient engines we have, human growth. So the human growth is 350% more. Now you all can understand that in a cup is already bubbling with 350 million. Already you added so much more. And the infrastructure and other supporting mechanisms, there is no even fund to do, and whatever little had to be done, because we were all ruled by our foreigners for such a long country, such a long time period. So it had a very dry infrastructure. So we are all shredding into pieces because of this. Another draconian thing is we collect about 17 lakh crores as taxes. Now our requirement for infrastructure itself is 72 lakh crores. Out of the 17 lakh crores, almost 80% goes as salaries. Only 20 to 25% is available for anything. By any stretch of imagination, the balance cannot give you 75 lakh crores in another even 40 years time. By the time your need will be more. So we have to have an unconventional way. Others will say, oh, whatever is there, you will say, let me ask the government for money. But government itself doesn't have money because there are so many other things to be taken care of. So we have to take some unconventional way in which the money will come. I know that you are all physics students. I am not going into economics. I am also a physics student. So I am trying to bring economics into physics for the use of physics properly by economics. Okay. So, not to frighten you, so since I am not an economics student, so you don't have to really feel try to suddenly I am talking some numbers and things which are different. But we all should know that there is no money in the system, so money has to be generated from somewhere. Otherwise, we all will become graduates, postgraduates. That's what happens. There should be somebody to take us. Otherwise, another thing which we say is, if somebody is uneducated without a job, let it be like that. Don't make him educated and still be without a job, because then he's going to be more frustrated. So once we are all educated, we better have a good life, because our expectation from the world is high, and we feel we can do something good for the society. So what I have done in this world secured governance is, I said, let us see what is the hidden potential inside the nation. Harnessing untapped growth potential for nation. Achieving growth through convergence of multiple sectors. Infrastructure development with minimal government investment. Setting up hubs, mini hubs, nano hubs nationally. Okay. The smart cities hubs is the one which the government is talking about 100. We have projected 200. At least 100 they have taken. Now where does this untapped money come from? Is it something lying below the ground? Is it the black money which people are saying we should tap it from abroad? People are put abroad. We are not talking anything else. We are not talking of cleaning up the system and catching somebody or anything else. We are saying that there is a money when you grow, and that money is there to fund the system. Let me give you the smallest and simplest example. A road is built. The moment a road is built, all the values around the road go skyrocketing. I am saying that money should bring back the road itself free. These two sentences, if you all know, you will know other things very easily. Okay. Today, the road maker himself is a pauper. He has given huge values around the road. There also there is confusion because people do not know how to tap the money. They only know that अरे तुम्हारा वो रोड के पास है ना घर भेजो मत वो अभी 40 गुना हो जाएगा. But we do not know who will take, what will happen. Then we wait for 10 years, 20 years, and then something money, extra money comes. So we are saying opposite. We are saying the road itself don't make the road. Have two hubs, whatever we call as smart cities or mini smart cities. And the smart city person, if he is given a hint that you make the road, he will gladly make the road. Because his value will go up. Win-win-win-win situation. Once that is done, to all the sectors, let us, instead of spending too much time on sector governance and roads, let us go to tourism sector. If a tourist spot, if one of the Shivaji forts is attracting maybe 10,000 tourists in a year, and if I make 10,000 tourists to 1 lakh tourists, which is not at all difficult, then what happens? The remaining 90,000 people are going to spend the money there. And that money can develop. Where does physics come in picture? Physics is make every ingredient for the tourist happy. Nowadays when you go abroad, everywhere they just give a tape recorder, you can put any language, even many times nowadays Hindi are available. You place Hindi, you go to number 1, you put number 1, you say this is number 1, this is a place. 2, 3, physics comes. Physics comes in picture in mapping the place. Physics comes in picture in optimizing the place. Physics comes to picture in, through the web you can see where to go, how to go, why should you not go, everything. This is something which all of you should. Suppose I see the road. The road, right from development of the road to development of the hub, everywhere there is physics around. It is just a question of which sector, what you have to do, and appreciate the sector which you are not even fully aware of, so that you know that this particular thing, this particular expert will come and tell me, teach me, or whatever. Okay. So, with this small example, I am saying that the 72 lakh crores which we say is required for national economy is there within the system. Because we got 4.6 million kilometers of road. So each and every road, if we just form hubs, all need not be smart cities. Smart city is maybe 100, 200 square kilometers. Maybe it is. I'll come to physics department in a few minutes time. How this system will become one of the nano or mini hubs. Okay, each gives value. When it gives value, part of the value, small portion of the value is captured back into the for the growth. Yeah, that's something which you all may find it too boring. In actual interaction, people will ask me, oh, all the things you have said, how will it work? Where does government power? I just put this slide, not exactly for the government. Then there are roles defined. So each one is a 200 page document. So what will the person who will be the hub maker will do? What will the government doing? And how will they collate each other's work to give the final end product to society? Now comes what I call, in all this thing when I am saying that mini hubs will be sectorally oriented. What we are saying is that physics itself to various subjects can have a hub. Which means I can have a spectroscopy hub, I can have a nuclear hub, I can have a solid state hub, and so on and so forth. Maybe specializing in maybe one or two. And the values around it will be captured for the growth of the department. It's not a one-night job. You take 1 year of solid planning. Then the value capturing itself will give the valuation for the department. I know that much of you may not have understood, but it's a very long and tedious thing. But you should know that it is something which can happen. Because example is around you, somebody builds a small place in Badapur, and within 2 years you go, the whole thing is throbbing into. There was a time people would feel Bombay means only to sand. Today, even if you go to Panvel, it looks bigger than Bombay. Why? Because somebody has done this in a direct. Some small houses have come, this has come, and then it grows. Whereas in our secured governance, it will grow with all other amenities. To give you a different example, say IIT. IITs were all built about 60 years back. But they are not secured governance also. So they built only IIT. So it was a knowledge center for a specific subject. If secured governance has been interposed, whatever IIT did in 60 years would have done in 5 years. Which means around that industries would have been encouraged, around the tourism would have been encouraged, around the people to stay would have been encouraged. And this encouraging and valuation will come into subsidizing, IIT is funded by government. Instead of that, maybe IIT would have given back to government much more than what it has got the money on. So that if you interpose to physics department, it may make you finally understand what I am trying to say as hub and so on. So when I am saying physics hub, you take the topic, around the topic build a mini hub. Everything need not be talking to electronics. It just be one building, and in that building get the valuation coming in, and then we quantify all the things we have done till now, project it to people that this is what we have done, this is the valuation we are getting, so that money comes in, and that money is rotated back into higher and higher cases of how it will create a real knowledge-based economy.
I don't want you to see, that's why I'm making you a reader. So it's okay, no? Say everything whatever, say another one thing, unlike this, after that you all can ask questions, I did not ask questions. So you do not have to feel that if the madam at work, she will ask you questions, so I have to be afraid. So here I have to be afraid of what question these people have asked me. That freedom is there. Any question, anything else? So ask the toughest question. So again, same partnership has to be intense, intimate, so that at the end of the day, you all know that at least when I finish my education, this is my job. And by then, the department also grows because department says what the connections are, connectivity. By this, physics can be one of the biggest entrepreneurs because almost every one of the subjects gives you some product, some project, something which is totally output to it. This is not part of the process. So, unlike even I took first mathematics, then I jumped to physics, I changed. Because I somehow thought mathematics had only been in a chain. Whereas here I can talk about end result. Physics is very subject gives you an end result. There are more than a million products which are physics-based products. So you would find that entrepreneurship is another, at least few of the selected students, anytime you all want to talk to your there are incubating centers available. Even if you don't have money, you can share the capability, you can. The last sentence, that is, valuation has to come, interdependency with all sectors of economic gain has to be taken. Then only you will get valuation. When alone, you can grow slowly. But take other sectors into picture, then funding and growth becomes automated and quick. Then again, food for thought for department as well as our allied subjects with education as a core and physics department as this is a very interesting and very different side. When I'm saying that, see, any physics lectures always gives problems in electronics. This is Murphy's law. Wrong things is right and wrong. See, some people will be having a remote. This is the thing I cannot do. I have you do the talking. I cannot do that. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I didn't do it there either. For those who wanted to see. Otherwise, if you would have thought, you're doing some action somewhere, I am happy with now, this is a food for thought. That where will the valuation come to Honorable Madam? Okay. She will feel that I am struggling for every lakh of rupees and this man is talking of some hub and talking of something great and putting wrong thing to my students so that tomorrow they should not come and hero me that, get not take us money. I will also tell you how you can fight with it. Okay? Difficult job. I am talking from an entirely different national angle and I will tell you in just few minutes only how does it come in department. India has got 1.23 million schools. Most of the schools were built about 30-40 years back. The cost of about average 30 lakhs. Last term. So total money spent is 36 lakh crores spread over last 60 years. Now we know that the money put in so many years back has minimum 10 times value. So its present value will be around 33 lakh crores. That is 3.6 lakh. Now valuation comes because the place is old. Suppose you go to this land here, this would have been bought by university at the rate of maybe 2 lakh, 3 lakh per acre. Today the value will be 75 crores per acre. The place, the construction and sale value when it was bought will be maybe 3,000 rupees a square foot. Today it will be almost 75,000 rupees a square foot. That's the type of value chain which comes. Same thing when you put, you will find that each of the primary schools have gone tremendously high. Okay. Now where does this land in physics department? We find from outside area that many of the schools are available for physics department to expand. Nothing much is going on because either they are closed, not all.
I'm telling you, small portion. So, if you dialogue with somebody, you get almost a building with a provision to make it 4 times. Because today, education department, the government gives a natural for FSI. I presume FSI word people will know. The meaning of the word FSI is, if I make 1 square foot land, I can build 4 times the area of the land for FSI. In Mumbai it is 1.33 normal, and for education, health and few other select sectors, it can go up to 4. In exceptional cases, it can even go up to 8. So, if physics department takes some of this institution, at least one where there is a building available, this 4 FSI will fund for the building. Where will the money come? Same question which you will have. Because as per the rule, 40% of it is commercial level. Okay, some redevelopment plan type if you do, if you get a building which is maybe 2 lakh square foot, you can automatically build, let me go to actual numbers, you can automatically build 4 times. That means it becomes 8 lakh square foot building. And anything in that area is minimum 30 to 40,000 rupees a square foot. So that 1/4 of it or 1/3 of it is given to an agreement, proper transparent agreement. Physics department will get maybe 6 lakh square foot without spending any money. Food for thought. Okay, because these are available. Rules are there, rules are permitting, but it's a complex job. Okay, risky job, which Madam is always, you are all being so much tension because that every second day she says, I am not well. She wanted to postpone this also. I said, if you postpone this, don't call me again. Because once something is told, I finish and go, so that I don't have to go again. So I said, I knew that, already is under deep tension. First, an autonomous university is running, so many problems. At least she can initiate and go. Okay. So that a successor, what I am saying is not an overnight job. Even you all should like me, I am coming here after almost maybe 35 years, I do not know. From 78, or last when I was coming daily, since 78. And now it is so many years later. Same way the involvement of all should be there. Then you all should see it as your own growth and nation growth. When I see physics department growing, I feel it is my own growth. And indirectly it is national growth. And definitely we all benefit. So she could at least initiate something like this. It will take its own few years time, it will not take 10 years time. Maybe in the 4th year from now on, something like this will come as a real life entity. Where you all will be happy to see that a physics department having 8 lakh square foot building. I'm sure everybody would eyes will blossom up to have that. And nobody is doing any charity. Other people feel education should come under CSR budget, corporate social responsibility. I believe it's all not correct. Education should fund for itself. Why should education come as somebody's gratis? So education can also come in its own way, because government has made rules. Many times they themselves, rule maker themselves doesn't know that the rules are there to be followed. So for that, of course, we got a very powerful chairman. When Anil Kapadkar is still the chairman, at least these initiatives, if you all can take, this Vijayam, of course, this is forming from a national growth point of view. From these charts for each civil sector, it comes because I am trying to see how each sector can fund for itself. Same type of chart I have for, whether it is called tourism or agriculture, all sectors, including railways. I have shown them how they have more than 45 lakh crores lying inside, which they have only tapped up. Each railway station, I say, make 2 lakh square foot with your own place, your own this thing, above your own house when you do. And there are 7,600 railway stations. You can multiply the number. What is the number coming to? And they are all hidden potential. They can even make the whole railways go free and still there is fund inside. Same way, since we are in physics department, of course, when they do, I feel physicists will benefit there also. Because physicists can benefit wherever there is a growth in economy. So this, I thought I will present it as my last slide. And much of whatever I am saying in secure governance is within the existing rules, within the existing norms of the whether you are somebody who is an entrepreneur or whether you are somebody who would like to not be an entrepreneur and still offer the intellectual process, you are all there again. There's something like this we are doing in so many places. And much of whatever we say, right from Indian Bank Association President to last minute to go at the CEO level to somebody from USA, somebody from Africa, people have said, yes, this is good for the respective countries, for the respective sector and economic growth, including the person who was heading the border road organization, Ravi Shankar. Whatever question you all want. Anybody?
Want to ask?
Come on. Make yourself felt. At least say I am a broad-based person.
First question from
Her BP has already gone up, incidentally.